Interface bugs. These are the errors in interaction between modules or systems. Data format mismatch. Like in modules or in systems, interaction between two modules or interaction between two systems, errors is occurred is known as interface bugs. Data bugs. This is the issue related to data handling, like data is present in the server. According to that data handling, these bugs are present, like uninitialized variables. Uninitialized means not initiating the variables. In that case, data bugs are occurred. Wrong data types, because invalid data types, there is no possibility of invalid data types, then data bugs are occurred in that cases, like in spelling mistakes of data types and not initializing variables cases, these data bugs are found. Boundary bugs. These are the errors occur at the boundary values, like accepting age -1 or 101. There is no negative value of age. There is no age in binary, so it is a boundary bug. Like that, errors are found in boundary values. Age is always positive, greater than 0. So this is the example for boundary bugs. Control flow bugs. These are incorrect loops or conditions. In case of infinite loops, wrong branching cases, we use control flow bugs. Like incorrect looping statements, wrong branching cases, we use this control flow bugs. Performance bugs. It is for slow response, memory leaks, performance cases. If there is a delay in time of delivering the project, so performance bugs are occurred, slow response cases, and memory leaks, like leaking, hacking, or leaking the data without a security is known as memory leak. These bugs are comes under performance bugs. Then security bugs. It is the accessing unauthorized cases, unauthorized persons taking the data is known as security bugs. Vulnerabilities allowing unauthorized access. In short questions, it is the suitable formula. It is the suitable definition for writing taxonomy of bugs. Is the systematic classification of software defects to help in effective testing cases. This is the definition. You need to write for short questions. Next concept, flow graphs. This is a graphical representation of the programs. In case of control flow, like components, we use edges and blocks, nodes, decision nodes, statements. These are the components comes under flow graphs. Edges is used for linking between two vertices or two points. Control flow between nodes. Then we will go for control flow between nodes, two nodes. Nodes are statements or block of code. Between open and closed parentheses is known as block of code. Or writing some statements is known as node. Decision node is for condition statements like if, while, for loop, like that. We will use flow graphs in cases of white box testing. Is used for also like calculating cyclomatic complexity. P of g equals to e minus n plus 2. Cyclomatic complexity cases we use this flow graphs concept. A flow graph represents the logical control structure. It is the main purpose of representing the logical control structure of a program using nodes and edges is known as flow graph. Path testing. It is a white box testing technique is used for ensuring all independent execution paths in a program for testing. Program are tested is known as path testing. We'll use some key points like based on flow graphs. Path testing is done. Ensures complete path coverage. It should cover all points and nodes. Helps find logic and control flow errors. We will use some steps in cases of path testing concept. According to these steps, we will perform the path testing. Draw the flow graph. First we will go for drawing the flow graph. Then we will calculate cyclomatic complexity. Then we will identify the independent paths of flow graph. Then we will go for designing the test cases for each path. Cyclomatic complexity formula is V of g equals to e minus n plus 2. V is the vertices of the graph, E is the edge, n is the node, and adding 2. These three terms together is known as V of g. This formula is the cyclomatic complexity formula. Is used for fourth step of path testing. After testing this cyclomatic complexity, then we will go for short definition of path testing. It is a white box testing method that tests the all independent paths in a program using flow graph is known as path testing. In shortcut, I wrote PT, path testing. Basic concepts of path testing in software testing methodology. We will follow some concepts like path testing, flow graph, independent path, cyclomatic complexity, basic path testing, control flow statements, path coverage, and last we will go for limitations of path testing. Path testing definition we need to write. Path testing before concept is path testing. These are all concepts we discussed before. Topic path coverage. It is the process of ensuring every possible execution path is tested. For every part of the code, we will go for testing. Every execution line and execution path is must be tested. Then logical errors. Path coverage is the concept of ensuring every possible execution path is tested, like logical errors. Using logical symbols we use for logical errors. Loop errors. In loop cases there are some errors. Then we will cover those loop errors. Missing conditions. Then if else. Like that missing if any conditions, then we will go for covering those parts. If any missing conditions is present, then we will write correct way. Limitations of path testing. We have some disadvantages or limitations or drawbacks of using some path testing concept, like not practical for large programs, impossible to test all paths, like if loop exists. Another concept is predicate. It is a Boolean condition that controls the flow of execution in a program. It is a Boolean condition. It is used for controlling the flow of execution in a program. It is known as a predicate. While loop cases we use like conditions I less than equals to n. If a equals to b ampersand c not equals to 0, it should satisfy the condition. Predicates decide which path is executed. It is a logical condition like a Boolean condition or logical condition that evaluates true or false and determines the program flow is known as predicate. We have some other path concepts like path predicate, achievable paths, path sensitization, path instrumentation. Path predicate, it is a combination of all predicates along a specific execution path is known as path predicate. It is a combination of all predicates along a specific execution path is known as path predicate. It is like taking two if conditions, then multiplying or and keeping and adding the two statements is known as path predicate. These are two if statements, then we are adding is known as path predicate. Achievable path, it is a path whose path predicate can be satisfied by some input values is known as achievable paths. If it is not satisfied, then it is unachievable path. If it is true, then it is achievable. If it is false, then the path is unachievable. If condition, if x greater than 10, if let us take 5 is greater than 10, it is false, so it is unachievable. If taking like 3, in case of here this if statement, 3 is less than 5, then it is true, like it is achievable. Path is unachievable, like a condition is not satisfying or condition conflict. For one more question, this definition is useful. It is a program path that can be executed for some input values is known as achievable path. Another concept, path sensitizing. It is a process of selecting input values that force execution of a specific path to make the path predicate true is known as path sensitizing. Like these are the steps we follow for path sensitizing. Select a target path, then derive the path predicate. Choose the input satisfying the predicate. These are the steps we will follow for path sensitizing. For one more question, it is the technique it determining input data to execute a selected path in a program is known as path sensitizing. We use this in software testing methodology for selecting the input values for forcing execution of a specific path. For path predicate becomes true. To make the path predicate true, we use this path sensitizing concept. Path instrumentation, it involves adding extra code to the program to monitor or record path execution. It is a process of involving or adding extra code to the program for execution is known as path instrumentation. Purpose of path instrumentation is checking whether a path is executed or not. Collect runtime information. Collect information about Path validate, path predicates, confirm correctness of a control flow is known as path instrumentation. In simple words, it is the adding extra code to the program for path execution is known as path instrumentation. Extra code like counters, flags, print statements or logs is added at entry of nodes like edges, decision points when a path is executed. In these cases, adding code and statements printing purpose, we use some nodes. Then we will enter of nodes, edges, decision points. When a path is executed, the instrumentation records it. Instrumentation is the process will record the execution. In path instrumentation, like this is the example in C language, we use if else statement. If case it is satisfying the condition, then it will execute. If it is not satisfied, then it will comes to else statement, then it is satisfied, then it will return the else value. This helps testers to know which path was taken during execution is known as path instrumentation. We use some types of path instrumentation like statement instrumentation tracks execution of statements. Taking the statements is known as statement instrumentation. Then we will go for branch instruction. Path testing. It is applied to detect logical errors. It is a process of finding the errors, verifying control flow statements purpose, improving coverage, path coverage, identifying dead code which is not used, validate loops which are used for condition validate or not, validate loops, and boundary conditions like age equals to -1, so it is a boundary condition like that. Support debugging, reliable software execution. These are the concepts included in path testing. This is the first unit of STM subject. Please subscribe to Survey40 YouTube channel for more informative content. Thank you for watching. Please share this video to your friends.